Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you. My name is Takuya Furukawa from the ReDI School, Nordrhein-Westfalen. Very welcome to this board. Today, the demo day, autumn 2021, ReDI School of Digital Integration, NRW. All right, we have such an amazing lineup today, having the VIP speaker to keynote and also experts from the IT industry to make a panel discussion, the topic of diversity in IT. And also we have the main part, 8 students will be presenting the result of the semester. All right, so before we go into the main topic, I'd like to shortly introduce who we are as a ReDI school. As you see, we are ReDI. We are the non-profit organization, the tech school for people having no access to the digital education. And we have now a lot of locations in Germany and Denmark. And in this region, the west part of the Germany, in Nordrhein-Westfalen, we started this ReDI school since 2020. And we have our services, tech coaches, tech schools in the main cities such as Düsseldorf, Cologne, Essen, Duisburg, Dortmund, etc. and so forth. And as you see, we have many different cities and such a new news, but we also opened a new school in Hamburg from next year. And also one school in Aarhus in Denmark as well. Very excited to share this news with you. And in the region of NRW, we are running 3 different programs. The digital career program, we are teaching the high-end tech courses for migrants and refugees. And we also do the career support. And you will see a lot of presenters today. They are actually from this digital career program. And in the city of Duisburg and Maxloh, we are also running another program for kids and youth. And we are teaching our tech topics in the school, middle school, elementary school in Duisburg, Maxloh. And we also have a great news that we will open the Digital Women program from next year. We are very much excited. All right. I'd like to join our social media community. We have Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn and Facebook, and spread the word of today's demo day with hashtag ReDINRW and the demo day. I think you may be already interested in joining our school. If you want to study, you want to teach, please check out this QR code and then just check out our detail on the website. And if you are from the company looking for our tech talents, please check the ReDI talent pool and you can sign up as a recruiter there. And we will plan the job fair on the 11th of February on Friday. Then you can do a speed matchmaking with our tech talents there. Also, if you want to be a mentor, to have a one-on-one session with our students to develop their career and skill, we have another platform, the ReDI Connect, and please sign up there. And those great activities we do because it's possible by our sponsor partner companies' support. From my point of view, it's a great opportunity to sponsor us and do something great together. And I'd like to say a big thank you to Microsoft and Accenture for your big support from the beginning of this ReDI school in Nordrhein-Westfalen. And also thank you so much for Mitsubishi Electric to make this event happen. And also we are excited to start our new collaboration to offer the IoT course from the next semester. We also have a lot of companies supporting such as Qualcomm, Trivago, Handelsblatt, Deutsche Welle, ADA, and Cisco. And from the public sector, we are collaborating a lot with the Düsseldorf Center for Migration and Integration, and also another migrant center, Multicultural Forum in Düsseldorf, to collaborate for our students. Thank you so much for your support. And again, not but least, we have great community, happy faces. Congratulations to our students for the successful semester. And you've done a good job and very good progress. And I hope you will continue for the next semester too. And thank you so much for our teachers and mentors, especially for teachers. You spend twice a week in the evening time after your work, teaching something new for students. As a result, you see a lot of happy faces here. And I hope you enjoy the students' result presentation today. All right, I think that's pretty much it from my side. And I slowly want to just stop my presentation and like to invite the special guest of today, the VIP speaker, Mr. Wagner from Mitsubishi Electric. Mr. Andreas Wagner is a branch president of Mitsubishi Electric in Europe, German branch. Very welcome, Mr. Wagner.
Thank you so much, Furukawa-san, for the nice introduction. And can you hear me well? Perfect. Thank you so much again. And ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. For us, it is really a pleasure and an honor having you with us today. Actually, we would have loved welcoming you at our premise, and we have planned to welcome you at our premise. Unfortunately, the situation doesn't allow for that, but we are more than happy to have found an alternative now by the familiar way of connecting with all of you through the digitization. And with that, I want to give a very warm welcome to the management of ReDI School of Digital Integration, all generous supporters and volunteers, and especially to the student body whose education we couldn't be more delighted to aid. A special thanks goes to Professor Pinkwart, the Minister of Economic Affairs, Digitization, Innovation and Energy of the state of Nordrhein-Westfalen. He will be joining us later with a video message, as well as to the upcoming panelists and the presenters really gracing today's event. As illustrated by the circumstances we are in now and the way we are getting together today, there is no way of picturing our society without constant utilization and advancement of digital technology. The potential hereby offered is beyond definable, and the need of today's societies for implementing it is really growing, be it in offering next generation solutions for the public, as well as industrial applications. And one prominent example would be empowering data-based models that allow for energy efficiency and sustainability. These developments, ladies and gentlemen, demand inclusivity. Only an inclusive society is by definition a functional one. And ReDI School is leading by example in leveraging technological potential in social and industrial settings, combining different personal backgrounds and perspectives with state-of-the-art technologies. By creating individualized opportunities, it really paves the way for all kinds of unique skill sets to be incorporated into the bigger societal picture. As a tech-driven company from Japan, we, Mitsubishi Electric, actively strive for the promotion and pursuit of a society 5.0, human-centered in all its aspects, while allowing for a sustainable way of life through advancing digitization, if you like, a form of digital humanism. And this is where we see the high value of ReDI School's initiative, as it is not only overlapping with the overall philosophy of digital humanism and society 5.0, but actually tries to leverage the potential offered by combining the valuable knowledge and motivation of people from different backgrounds, people with and that with the local industries to further the active participation in the technological shift we are currently experiencing. And bit by bit, the creation of a more diverse ecosystem is moving society closer to the future vision of one that is diverse, one that answers to the needs of its age, and one that creates digital solutions for the human at its core. Ladies and gentlemen, we couldn't be happier to be cooperating with ReDI School and offer one of the next term courses based around Internet of Things, supported by our company members, and hopefully soon in person on our premises here, thereby adding to the, and I really have to say, to the really extraordinary curriculum that you are preparing. We are looking forward to starting the promising new term together and are highly motivated to offer this glance at the utilization of industrial digital technologies. So thank you so much for your attention. I am confident we will all benefit from the upcoming speakers, panelists, and presenters' input and the very fruitful discussion then. I hope you enjoy the event, and I thank you so much. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner, for your welcoming word. And very inspired, and thank you so much for your support from Mitsubishi Electric.
Thank you very much, and we are really happy to cooperate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Then the next VIP guest, we have Minister Pinkwart from the Wirtschaft NRW, the Economic Ministry of this region, Nordrhein-Westfalen. And we have the video message from him, and let's get started.
Meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren, schade, dass ich heute leider nicht live an Ihrem Präsentationstag teilnehmen kann. Gerne hätte ich mir Ihre Arbeitsergebnisse persönlich angesehen. Als Digitalminister unseres Landes freue ich mich, dass Sie die Möglichkeit erhalten, etwas zu lernen, das unsere Gesellschaft und die digitale Transformation voranbringen. Wir brauchen Menschen mit ihren Fachkenntnissen im IT-Bereich, um dem Fachkräftemangel in Deutschland, in der IT-Branche und darüber hinaus zu begegnen. Ich freue mich auch, dass es Initiativen wie die ReDI School of Integration gibt, die sich mit ihren Aktivitäten darum kümmert, dass sie die Möglichkeit haben, etwas zu erlernen und damit Arbeit und einen anerkannten Platz in unserer Gesellschaft zu erlangen. Viele Menschen helfen Ihnen dabei. Dazu gehören die freiwilligen Lehrerinnen und Lehrer, die Mentoren und natürlich die lange Liste der regionalen und internationalen Partnerunternehmen und Institutionen der ReDI School. Viele Firmen und auch staatliche Institutionen brauchen Ihre Fähigkeiten und Ihre Kenntnisse. Und ich freue mich, dass hier viele Menschen aus unterschiedlichen Nationen und mit unterschiedlichem kulturellem Hintergrund zusammensitzen und friedlich miteinander lernen. So sollte es überall auf der Welt zugehen. Nordrhein-Westfalen als eine der industriellen Kernregionen Europas hat eine lange Geschichte erfolgreicher Einwanderung und erfolgreicher Integration. Diese Tradition wollen wir als unser kulturelles Erbe des industriellen Zeitalters mit in das digitale Zeitalter hinübernehmen. Studien zeigen, dass Migranten und Geflüchtete eine große Nähe zum Internet haben. Sie halten darüber die Verbindung in ihre Heimat. Sie kommen häufig aus selbstständigen Milieus und haben große Bildungsambitionen. Ihnen fehlt aber oftmals die digitale Weiterbildung. Unter anderem deshalb gründen immer noch zu wenig Migranten und Migrantinnen und Geflüchtete im Bereich der wissensbasierten Dienstleistung. Dieses Potenzial wollen wir heben. Die ReDI School of Digital Integration leistet genau das, indem sie unter anderem IT- und Programmierkurse, Workshops, Tech-Talks, Firmenbesuche, Hackathons, HR Summit, Innovations Projects, Karriereberatung und Arbeitsvermittlung anbietet. Digitale Tools zu erarbeiten macht Spaß. Betrachten Sie es wie ein analoges Handwerk. Seien Sie und bleiben Sie kreativ. Für Ihr weiteres Leben und Ihre berufliche Zukunft wünsche ich Ihnen besten Erfolg.
Wow, thank you so much, Minister Pinkwart, for the great word for us. Now we are moving to the exciting part of today. It's a panel discussion with 6 different tech experts from the IT industry. We have Johannes, we have Lena, we have Stefan, we have Dominic, and we have Rashid on the way. Maybe instead of me presenting everybody, I'd like to, oops, now Rashid is coming, no? Okay. I'd like to shortly pass the ball to probably first Lena. Could you introduce yourself shortly?
Of course. Thank you, Kjær. I'm Lena. I'm working with Microsoft. I'm the project lead for diversity and inclusion for Microsoft in Germany. But I've been with the company since 6 years now. Before that, I was part of the corporate comms team. And my real education is a kindergarten teacher. So I don't have a university degree. And I know how important lifelong learning is. And I'm super happy that ReDI does exactly that.
Thank you so much, Lena. Nice to meet you. And then I'd like to pass to Johannes then.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Johannes from Accenture Interactive. I do have a diversity degree, but my mother was a kindergartner, and I was lucky to see best of both worlds to become, and yeah, who I am today. I've been basically building digital ecosystems since 20 years, either self-employed or with other companies. And now my focus lies on building digital ecosystems at Accenture Interactive, experience architecture. And I'm also the hub lead for Munich and the hub lead for all our refugee supports. Yeah, and very, very happy and stoked to be part of this awesome session today.
Great, Johannes. Thank you so much. Oh, Shilpa, you're a bit too early. Could you turn off your video for now? All right. Okay, then I will pass it to Anna. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, and it's so inspiring to also have a minister even giving a speech now. So I think we are definitely growing, and it's just such a joy to bring together the strengths of all the companies, of all our volunteers, and also all our students, because I all think we as a society grow by bringing the best out in each other, and I'm very happy to join this panel today.
Thank you. And the next one, I'd say, Stefan, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you very much for having me. So my name is Stefan Knauf. I'm working for Mitsubishi Electric, as you can see. I'm leading the division for factory automation. And yeah, we are responsible to support and sell our technological products. And I'm happy to be here and looking forward to the discussion.
Great. Thank you so much. Then next one, Dominic.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm Dominic. I work at Trivago, as you can see over my shoulder. I'm leading a team of software developers in our search backend. And I do have a university degree, and my mother and my wife are primary school teachers, so I see a certain pattern there. Yeah, and I'm also looking forward to seeing and hearing from all of you and all of the students later.
Great, thank you so much, Dominic. Then Rashid.
Yeah, good evening. Nice to meet you all. My name is Rashid. I'm from Morocco. I work the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, and I support refugees to find a training or a job. I'm so happy to be here. That's it.
Great, thank you so much. Great to have you all here. And before we move on to this main topic of our panel discussion, I'd like to start with a short warm-up session, as we already talked about. We do the this or that game, and I'm gonna say random this or that. And if you prefer this, and please raise your hand. And that, also raise your hand. Okay, I'm gonna say then blue or red. Blue. Oh, red. Okay. The next one is tea or coffee. Tea. Ah, yeah. Coffee. Wow. The majority, and the Rashid has 2 hands raised. Then the bike or car. Bike. Wow. Car. Can be an electric car, maybe. Okay. All right, then the next one is tricky. Form or function. Form. Wow. A function. Okay. We are in Germany, maybe we are more function oriented, I guess. All right, then the big party or small gathering. A party people, big party. Small gathering. Ah, Johannes. All right, thank you. Then the last one, the tablet or computer. Tablet. Computer. All right, thank you so much for participating in it, and it was so fun. All right, then let's get started. Our topic today, it's mainly about the diversity in this IT industry, no? And before we go into those details, I'd like to ask Anne first. So we started this ReDI school very the beginning in 2015, and we see a lot of changes. And what impact did we or do we have made already at the ReDI school? And what changes do we still want to see in the near future?
Yeah, Takuya, it's hard to believe that it's actually been 6 years since we started ReDI School. And if you had told me where we are right now, when we started the school, I think I would have said, you must be dreaming, this cannot be possible. But it's so nice to see that it actually is. So I was looking at the numbers and counting all the incredible students and volunteers we've actually had in the last 6 years. And I'm happy to say that we have been teaching more than 6,300 people in those years. And also we have been engaging more than 5,000 volunteers. So this is really just showing that the community, if you put all those numbers together, is actually more than 10,000 people. So that is just incredible that there are so many people who are interested in supporting each other, who are interested in learning new things, because lifelong learning is definitely at the core, I think, for everyone who is engaged here at ReDI School. One thing that I'm also really excited about is if you look at the countries that people come from, it's also almost like a small United Nations at ReDI School, because we are actually people from more than 63 different nationalities represented every semester at ReDI School. So we come from all continents, we speak so many different languages, but we all share that one thing, that we really believe that a peaceful society enabled through technology is possible. So that excites me a lot. So where are we going with ReDI School? I think 2022 is going to be a very busy year. Right now we have 5 locations at ReDI School, 4 of them in Germany and 1 in Denmark. But actually, as it looks right now, we will be starting a second school in Aarhus in Denmark. We are probably going to start a new school in Malmö in Sweden. We just launched yesterday that we are starting a new school in Hamburg, so a new school joining here in Germany. We have also gotten support from the Ministry of Finance here in Germany to start a school in cyberspace. And last but not least, we are actually moving on into a new continent. And together with the GIZ, we are going to start teaching in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa, also starting from next year. So this is really incredible. Where is all of this going? If we were going to meet again in another 6 years, I am really hoping that we will have ReDI School all across the globe, that we will be represented in many more countries, and that we will see digital classrooms where you might be sitting in South Africa, in Kenya, in Italy, and maybe Northern Norway, but together digitally, we can all be learning in the same thing in cyberspace. Because at the core of everything that we do at ReDI School, it's about understanding and bringing people from many different parts of the world together for our shared passion. So I'm really excited for what is to come. And yeah, thanks to people like you, Takuya, we keep making it possible. So I'm just so grateful for the team and everyone who supports us in making all of this happen.
Great to hear, and thank you so much. I'm also happy to hear your future vision, and we are growing. And from the keyword future, I'd like to now move on to Johannes. For example, like you are the specialist in the digitalization or customer user experience management. And in this Corona time, we experienced a lot of things digitalized, you know, like maybe the process or collaboration way. On one hand, maybe it became more efficient. On the other hand, maybe we are still missing some human contact. And thinking about this context, what do you see, like what's coming next, and what kind of like expertise do our students need to develop? Thank you, Johannes.
Yeah, my pleasure. I think first and foremost, human interaction is irreplaceable, and there are no digital tools, digital services, process optimizations that can ever make up for really meeting someone. Yeah, and specifically in the last 2 years, the teams that I've been working with, that I've managed, I always try to get some type of physical kickoff or something in, because in order to really show real empathy and go the extra mile for someone, it's more likely if you know the person. Yeah, if he or she told you about his or her cat or her favorite color, for example, I show empathy. And then working remotely is way smoother. We can always work remotely. However, my feeling really is 100% virtual remote work. The quality of the output and also the engagement of the team, of the people, is limited. It's just the hard truth that I really experienced in the last couple of years, right? So I think you should have to find a good mix of having both worlds. Yeah, I see it specifically in design work and UX work. The agencies that I work with, Fjords and Schrader, that also belong to Interactive, if they are in the same room and they have those mood boards on the wall and they are in contact with the brand and with the client they work with, their outputs are awesome. But if you live in your own, if you work in your own kitchen, for example, and you don't have this inspiring moments from around, it's just something that limits your creativity, I think, right? So I think a good mix is really, really essential. And yeah, innovation, from my point of view, real innovation is enabled by special human moments, not by technology as well. Yeah, so this is something we try at Accenture and our acquisitions all the time. If we want to enable real innovation, we don't set up a mural wall and an MS Teams meeting. We try to find different channels to really set the spark. It's not always easy. It's actually very, very tricky, but yeah, we'll give it our best. And I think it's a huge learning curve for us and for everyone in this room, in this virtual room, right? Because actually we talk more to our colleagues because of Teams and digital meetings, but we talk more business. We have less chit chat and those special moments at the coffee machine, for example, or those in between. I just need to know something. Can you just give me this number, that number? These moments we don't have. So we set up 15-minute meetings because I just want to ask you one question, right? And this has been thoroughly changing our everyday life. And I can tell you, I don't have the right answer for you, but we are, I think, ideating around how to mitigate the situation, because who knows how our everyday life will change in the long run. We all know we are likely to work more remotely. However, I think we have to be careful not to lose ourselves by doing this. Yeah, and I think, yeah, what should our students look for? I always have this language analogy, right? Speaking different languages is awesome. Yeah, I lived in Italy and Spain. I was very lucky to speak different languages. However, what's more important than speaking different languages is understanding each other. And now bringing this into a tech context, I would really advise you, don't really go down one road. I've seen the most productive teams I've been working with, UX and UI guys also understand something for front end, and back end guys that also understand some front end technology, microservice technology. These are the teams that really blow up stuff and create great results. Because if you just work in your own little silo, you tend to be very, very successful and very good in what you do, but then communicating with other people, understanding the customer, the next person that works next to you. This is, I think, the holy grail of cross capability collaboration, of cross-functional teams, is know your own stuff, but please be also interested in the stuff that people next to you do. And this is what, from my point of view, is something that I always tell young people: look for your little sweet spot, but try to broaden your mind as well.
Thank you, Johannes. I'm very inspired. You know, this T-shaped person, how do you say it? Like this cross expertise, like having the core skill at the center, and you have like interest floating up to the different area. It's really important in this IT sector, I think. All right, now I'd like to move to Rashid. We know now like broad overview of like what comes next in the tech or maybe in the human-centered communication, and thinking about or like, you know, this Düsseldorf or in the Rhineland NRW region. Now we know that a lot of, you know, German organizations, they are recommending a lot of migrants coming to Germany and then find out maybe the tech jobs, and it's really like happening a lot. And then from your point of view, like why it's like this, and also what expertise do we need in this, especially Düsseldorf Rhineland area, Rashid? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would like to report something about my work. My main tasks are consulting and placement in work. As I work at the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, and I support refugees to find training. Many young refugees bring a lot of good skills and experience with them. And this project, what I do, is supported by the German government. In addition to that, we work with many companies in Düsseldorf and the district in Mettmann and try to win refugees for traineeship or trade in IT. We have been doing this since 2015, and it works just fine because many are well qualified. In IT, more and more people find a job or training. Despite of the current situation, the training market is stable in Düsseldorf and Mettmann, and the last year around 600 places were not filled. Companies in Düsseldorf and Germany have a hard time finding young people at all. That's why the training market is currently stable and offers many employment opportunities. The job market for the IT professions is also quite well, as Düsseldorf is expanding in economic terms a startup city. And we offer our candidates many digital opportunities to help them to develop on a career level. I would like to explain you one matching tool we have created, the digital speed dating since 2020, in which we bring companies and applicants together. And these 10 minutes, you have the ability to get to know each other and find the right candidates. Applicants have the chance to get to know many companies in one day and have the chance to convince them. Then we have also the blind date, where employers and applicants don't each other, but have a completely open conversation. A result of this process of digitalization in many areas of life and the economy, for example, in education or in training business, IT specialists are currently needed and will be needed in the future. So I think we need them because NRW is growing location and is well connected worldwide. We have global players like Trivago, Vodafone in Düsseldorf, and growing startup scene, as well as many sized companies that need skilled workers. And I think the digital transformation process started even before Corona, affects the whole of society, and it is intensified by the pandemic to make the economy more digital, and IT professionals play a very important role in the industry.
All right, Rashid, thank you so much for sharing very interesting insights, especially from your expertise in this IHK, no? In Düsseldorf. It's really relevant for us. And I'm also happy to collaborate with you very in the near future next year. All right.
Pleasure to me.
Thank you. And I feel like probably we need slightly more time in this panel discussion. And please don't worry about, the time, and maybe we can have extra 5 minutes or so. Okay. And now I'd like to move slowly on to this diversity in IT topic. And I'd like to pass to Lena. Like Microsoft is a global player, and there's such a diverse colleagues working there in terms of the demography, time zone maybe, and also the skill set and the personal history. I'd like to really learn from you, like, how's it going? Like, what's changing or challenging at Microsoft?
Thank you, Takuya. Yeah, I think the topic of diversity inclusion is so huge that it wouldn't be easy to say like that's how it's going at the moment. I think it's a process, and the process will be ongoing. There won't be any finite goal that you reach and then you can tick the box and say, yeah, diversity inclusion, we've done that. Because all the time there are new aspects coming up. So, for example, for me at the moment, I'm reading a lot about neurodiversity, which is a super interesting topic, and it grows. People assume because of the pandemic as well. And I think that's so important to keep that in mind, that diversity and inclusion is a topic that ever evolves, and we have to learn forever about that. I guess what I see at the moment, and I think that's quite a good sign, we're moving beyond the gender focus in Germany. And I think that's so important, not only to talk about gender when we talk about diversity, because it's only one small aspect of all the diversity world. And I think that's good to see. And it shows us also, okay, we've done some work regarding gender. We're not there yet. We will never be there, because gender, again, it's not only about men or women. It's about, a whole aspect of gender. And I think that's quite a good sign. I guess technology is, on the one hand, something that really can help and support diversity and, most important, inclusion. So if we think about accessibility and stuff like that, but also we need to have diverse team creating and building up those products. Is it software or hardware? Because those products will be so important for our future. And if we want to have a future that is good for everyone, we have to make sure that everyone is involved in the process. And that's really important for me. And if we say everyone, we have to think about everyone. And I think that, again, shows we have a lot of work to do, but I'm super happy to be part of that.
Thank you so much, Lena. I like this inclusion and the involvement aspect of Microsoft. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to pass to Dominic. The Trivago is a Düsseldorf-based company. However, I see a lot of, again, international colleagues working there. And I want to know, like, how's it going and how's it working at Trivago?
Yeah, thanks, Akuya. So Trivago, as you might have guessed, was also heavily affected by Corona, not only for the working situation, but also as we are working in the travel space. That has been a huge cut. Usually we have all people working in our campus in the Düsseldorf Media Harbor, and out of the 800 talents are about like 480 from a tech background and working in the tech area, and they come from more than 80 different nations. So we are a really diverse set of, at least when it comes to where the people come from. And for me personally, exactly as Johannes said, this makes working in person amazingly enjoyable, right? I mean, it's you walk around the campus, you hear people talking in the wildest languages you've never heard before. It's like you have meetings with Nepalese, Philippines, Brazilians, Spanish people within like 4 hours, which is amazing. And this definitely makes it super fun to work, just the surrounding, because working with all those people makes it really interesting. And this also kind of like influences not only kind of like we try to attract people, but we also try to make everybody comfortable in working the way they like to work, right? Not only because they come from different backgrounds, but from different countries, but also they come from different backgrounds, right? So we try to give people as much freedom as possible within the single team, so every team can kind of like work the way they want to. Every team can decide what times suit them best. So there are teams that start rather early. There are teams that basically don't start before, I don't know, 10 a.m. which simply makes it possible to include all these different people and kind of like everybody benefits the most from this diversity. And at the same time, to benefit the most from this diversity, we also try to put as much responsibility on the individual to also tell us what they need, right? So not only say that this is a way of working, like we all do Scrum now in software development, but every team can decide what works best for them. And kind of like this freedom for us at Trivago continues into the campus is like you can organize your team area the way you want, right? Because some people might like it a bit more in a more enclosed space. Some people like it really open. And so this is kind of like how we not only want to embrace diversity, but we also want people to kind of like live their diversity and not try to push them all in the same bucket. So for me, this is kind of like one huge aspect, which definitely had a bit of kind of like drawbacks due to the digital world, because it really didn't matter much more where people sat, kind of like where they come from, because it was a lot about business interactions and not personal interactions. So exactly as you said, those chit chats at the coffee machine in the kitchen during lunch, well, they do get lost. This is really sad, but we hope that this gets better soon. And the diversity definitely also goes beyond kind of like just different nations or just different genders. So it's also about the experiences, right? People with different backgrounds, with different experiences also bring in completely different approaches to solving problems. One might be a super formal person trying to make it kind of like test everything. Another person might be really rushing forward and just bringing out a solution. And so this kind of like balance of different types of people, diverse set of ideas is definitely super interesting to work with. And that's definitely one of the reasons why I like working at Trivago a lot.
All right, thank you, Dominic, for sharing your work experience at Trivago, sorry. All right, then now I want to move to Stefan at the Mitsubishi Electric. I'm Japanese, and as a Japanese, everybody know Mitsubishi Electric, and it's also the global player. Oh, sorry. And then I'd like to know, like, actually how this international cross-cultural setup work at your workplace.
Thank you very much, Takuya-san. So within Mitsubishi Electric, it's quite interesting, because we see that on a, let's say, on an EMEA scope, we all have a kind of same genetic in the company. So if you work for a Japanese company, you're a special type of person, a special type of working style, and that's also what we see, that our employees are staying quite a long time, or they change quite quickly because they are not attached to the culture. And of course, on the Japanese side, it's for the most European ones, a very different culture. So we are trying as best to train our people, because as you know, as best, of course, the Japanese way is sometimes very traditional, sometimes also very conservative, but on the other side, very sustainable. And that's quite interesting for myself as well, but also in terms in our customer discussion, that they have really a sustainable partner. And if you know how the Japanese culture is working, because a lot of stuff is coming from the historical view of Japan, so like exchanging the business cards with two hands and looking into the sitting row during the dinner and during the meeting. So, and if you are able to handle it, it's a quite nice partnership and a really long-term partnership. And this is, I think, our genetic, to have a long-term relation within the company, but also within our customers.
All right, thank you so much, Stefan. It's very interesting to see. For example, I know that as a Japanese, we never say no. We always say yes or consider, but it doesn't mean actually yes. All right. And in terms of the time, I need to slightly speed up this discussion, and I'd like to probably move on to like giving some advice from your point of view to our students. And Lena, also you are very much in this topic, women in tech, And maybe for our students, actually, we have more than 50% women in our all location ReDI school. And I'd like to hear some advice from your point of view to our students.
Yeah, I think it's always hard to give advice because everyone is different, and what did work for me might not work for anyone else. And in addition, I don't think it's the women that should give advice regarding tech, regarding women in tech. It's all of us. We need to learn from each other and support each other. And we most importantly need really men supporting that topic of women in tech and giving space to women in tech. I think that's super important. But what helped me was really not to pretend to be anyone, but to be me. And I think that was super hard for me to learn at first when I started in tech, to really learn, okay, I don't have to pretend to be anyone, and I can be who I am. And as I realized that, I realized how much more energy I have to give to work, to give to my team, and to give to everything I'm doing. And I think that's really important for us to keep in mind. If we all the day have to pretend to be someone else, it lowers our energy for work. So I think companies should really invest in a culture and should really foster the culture so people can be who they are, so they can give all their energy to their work, to their projects, to their teams, and help the company being more successful. So I think that would be my advice. Don't try to pretend something to be someone else, but be who you are and be true to yourself.
Wow, thank you so much, Lena. Be myself, be ourselves. It's really great word to hear. Thank you. Then maybe from Anne, as a ReDI school, your point of view, do you have any advice to our students and also for the future semester?
I was very inspired by what Johannes was saying about empathy, because I think with diversity, we talk about it very positively now, but actually diversity is really difficult because we want people to have different points of view and different experiences. And when we as humans meet things that are different or people where we have a different point of view, it can be very easy to close down. But actually, my biggest advice for all the students is to stay curious. Every time that you meet things that you don't understand or where you might have a different opinion, to be open-minded, open-hearted, and really try to understand the point of view of differences. This is definitely what I'm trying to teach myself every day, and I also have to remind myself every day. So stay curious, as I think Steve Jobs said as well.
Thank you. Also, we know that the diversity is difficult, but with this, we can do many different things so interestingly. Thank you. Then maybe Johannes, next one. Do you have advices to our students?
Yeah, I mean, I think most important things were said already, but if I had to come up with one thing now, I'd say probably originality, because I mean, to maybe quote a Karnevalsprinz and Wolfgang Overath, jeder Jack ist anders und das ist auch gut so. Yeah, be who you are, like Lena said, right? I don't know if you see my little crazy haircut over here. I had a business coach telling me, Johannes, you should go to consultancy. I told him, look at me, I'm not a consultant. He's like, no, you like to share your knowledge, and I need to be pushed there. And I stayed the way I am, and I even have my crazy photo on my internal CV. And everybody told me, no, Johannes, don't do it. The good companies will not hire you for projects. Like, okay, then maybe I don't want to work for these companies if they choose me based on my picture on my CV, right? So yeah, stay true to yourself, stay curious, and but honestly, I'm not afraid, or I don't really worry about this, because I see younger generations, the way I kind of perceive you in the jobs, how you kind of fight for what you want and what you basically also say no to what you don't want. I'm amazed by the development there, and I would say right on.
Thank you. Thank you, Johannes, for the encouragement to our students. All right, then the next one, Rashid.
Yeah, thank you, Johannes, for the great statements. Yes, you may see the picture behind me. There are two heroes, and I work with young people. We need heroes like you, and heroes that we need for our companies. Our training campaign in the last 2 years has given many hundreds of young people a professional future. I mean, it pays to be qualified. My message tonight is so simple. Education becomes the future, especially in IT. Be optimistic, believe in yourself, and approach the companies. And for refugees, I can say that we have good experience on the training markets, and professional integration has been successful since 2015. In Germany, training is the key to the labor market. You have a good future, especially since many employees will retire in the next few years and companies need many specialists. So keep working, stay positive. Congratulations again. Yeah, take it care, my friends. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rashid. Very nice message from you. All right, then Dominic, next one, please.
Yeah, thanks. I can only add to what the others already said, because I think that being authentic and being a lifelong learner and also enthusiastic about learning more is something that simply is required by anyone, but it also gives the opportunity to everybody to especially in tech, to work there. And one thing I would like to add is that no one should be intimidated by the technology around, right? It's easy to say like, oh, I can never learn that, it's so complicated. Yeah, it does sound like a lot, and it is a lot. And after like more than a decade doing software development, I can tell you, even for me, it's hard to keep up, even if you do that as a full-time job. So don't be intimidated by the technology. Just start with what you like, what you see around you, right? Just get curious, like, oh, Netflix doesn't work today. Like, why? Like, let's try to figure out, or something like that. Just get started somewhere, and from there, look to what interests you and try to find something that you like. And then if you're passionate about it, and if you like doing it, and if you start learning, you will definitely be able to learn more about that, and if you want to eventually work on that. And also, it's never too late to start with that, right? So I have colleagues who only started doing something with the web when they were like 30 something, and they did something completely different before that. So it's never too late to get started in this field. Although most companies search for 20 years of experience for 20-year-olds, which is completely unrealistic. So don't be afraid, don't be intimidated. Just start, and if you like what you're doing, you will find a job that also likes what you are doing.
Oh, great encouragement, Dominic. Thank you so much. Then the last but not least, Stefan, also from your point of view, and I'm also curious, what excites you for our collaboration for the IoT course next semester?
Yeah, hard to add something, but to be open-minded, to be authentic, to build up a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset, is very important. Patience is important. So sometimes it needs some years if you can see a success. So it doesn't need to be in 1 year ready to be the next CEO. So sometimes it takes some time. And I think also shouldn't be afraid to make any failures. So if you do one failure, I think it's important to learn. And I think that's the most important one. And from our side, to participate in the ReDI School is a quite good chance to, because this IoT thing is for us a big opportunity, but also quite large challenge, because we are more traditional engineers, the majority of the company. So we like to make things run. We like to solve solutions at the customer side. But now we are stepping into an IT world, and we need to combine this physics to the IT level. So we need to close the gap. And therefore, we need to transfer our knowledge from the OT level and try to educate the IT level and come together to find a solution at the end. And that is amazing us to join the ReDI School, also to get maybe also new talents on board.
All right, thank you so much. I'm very excited to collaborate with you. All right, so pretty much the end of the panel discussion. All right, was really talked a lot, and was quite going quick, but we learned really interesting aspects of all experts from the tech industry in diversity IT. Thank you so much for joining Dominic, Rashid, Anne, Lena, Stefan, and Johannes, and see you around. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Thank you. All right, we are running slightly late, but let's say let's have 5 minutes pause to do one thing in between. And feel free to grab some water, coffee, whatever, and stretch around, and see you in 5 minutes. Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you again. Okay, now we move on to the second part, which is the main part, student presentation of 8 courses from Digital Career Program. And here today, we have amazing jurors, Frank, Johan, and Shilpa on board, on stage. Hey, hello, nice to meet you. Before we get started, I'd like to do a short introduction round of our jurors. Thank you so much for coming. Frank, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, of course, Takuya. This is Frank Fuse. I'm working for Microsoft here in Germany. I am a cloud solution architect for SAP. That means I'm usually supporting our customers when they decide to move their SAP workloads from a data center, from an on-premise data center into the cloud. And I'm supporting them to create infrastructure architectures and so on and so on. And I must say, I'm at least as nervous as you students may be today, because it's my first time at the juror, and I'm really excited for this evening. So back to you, Takuya.
Great, Frank. Welcome on board. Then the next one, Shilpa.
Hi, I'm Shilpa, and I work for Infosys and from India. So my expertise is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and also I, being a front-end developer, we develop websites for NGOs and for smaller institutions. And I'm associated with ReDI schools as a mentor and tutor for this semester. It was fabulous, and I thoroughly enjoyed mentoring this semester and looking forward for the next semester. Thank you so much.
Great, Shilpa. Thank you. Thank you for also joining from India. It's great to have you. Then the next one, Johan. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Takuya. Yes, my name is Johan Loran. I'm from Accenture, almost a decade with the company, and working actually as a project management and architect at Accenture, supporting our CIE, so Cloud Infrastructure Engineering team, and delivering good work to our client to bring them into the cloud, and especially to bring software development and infrastructure closer together, which is in the cloud. And additionally, next to ReDI School, I'm also a lecturer at university and supported also within Accenture for many years our new hire Jumpstart program, which I'm very proud of. And I'm glad to share this knowledge that we got there, also here with the ReDI School, with the students. And if I may, I would like to do a short shout out to the main groups. First off, the amazing Accenture team supporting the ReDI School initiative. So from the leadership till the analysts, great work, guys. Secondly, thank you very much, Takuya and the ReDI School team. Big thanks to you guys. It is I'm grateful to support this good cause. And most importantly, these are our students, and they are the most important. They are the most reasonable why we do this. And thanks to them for participating in all the courses and learning continuously. And maybe closing with a final quote: the best way to predict the future is to create it. So let's do this together.
Wow, thank you so much, Johan, sharing. All right, then I'd like to slowly start with the first presenter, which is from HTML and CSS course, Murat Yasser. So let's get started.
Hi, my name is Murat Yasser, and I'm from Turkey. I'm currently improving myself to learn web development for an entry to IT sector in Germany. In winter semester 2021, I've attended HTML CSS course at ReDI, and I'd like to share my experience with you. At that course, we have started from the very beginning of web development, like how computers read HTML codes to display a web page, and how we can write and run our codes as web developers. Since HTML is a markup language like any other language, it has its own grammar rules to follow, which we call it syntax, in order to communicate with computers. HTML is basically what we see on the screen if we visit a web page, which means a combination of texts, images, forms, tables, and all the other elements which are positioned on a colorful background. At ReDI, we have learned all about them. And then we continued with CSS. CSS is the styling sheet which we use to visualize our HTML codes to create an attractive and a more user-friendly website. If I need to evaluate the course, I found the course content really inspirational and instructive. And the instruction medium was very friendly, interactive, and encouraging. Our lecturers were real web developers from the field, so they underlined the most important topics and they explained when and to do what we use those tags and attributes. I think it was definitely helpful to concretize the abstract topics. There's one more thing I'd like to mention. Obtaining the hard skill is just the one part. Another key point is improving the soft skills, like building a network, creating an attractive CV, or following the right channels to find the correct job, or surviving the interview. I have to admit that the workshops at ReDI contributed us a lot to improve our soft skills. I would like to thank to all my lecturers for their great effort and all the other heroes who worked devotedly behind the screen for this organization. I wish you all the best and thanks a lot.
All right, well done, Murat. It's a great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think Johan is probably on the way, coming back. But before we start, and then let's get started this jury's round. No? Okay, I'd like to ask Frank first. You saw the presentation of Murat. What feedback would you give to him?
Murat, it was really great to see your presentation. Your presentation skills are really great. And for me, I'm not very familiar with HTML and CSS. And so even myself, I could understand what it does mean to develop HTML sites and what does CSS stands for and why this is important. So I really like your presentation, your explanation. And yeah, the short video was amazing. So great job. And maybe we will see us in another course. I can recommend cloud computing, for instance, if you're interested in. Thanks. Back to you, Takuya.
Thank you. Maybe, Murat, do you have any comment back to Frank?
Thanks a lot for the compliments. I will definitely continue on that way. And I hope to see you again.
Yeah, great.
Cool, thank you. Then Shilpa, now you are actually the student of this course, sorry, the teacher of this course, no? And,
yes.
All right. And would you like to give some feedback to Murat and also maybe give some question to him?
Absolutely. Murat, first thing is it was an amazing performance or presentation, I can say. The way you expressed yourself, the way you handled HTML, CSS, that was incredible. So I have a question for you. So are the HTML tags and elements the same thing? You think both are same?
Can you repeat that, please?
The HTML tags and elements are the same thing?
In a way of looking, they are really close. The elements, when we say elements, there are some other files and documents which we use. Those are also elements, but the tags are the commands we give to the computer to display the images.
Absolutely. I was actually expecting that answer, but brilliant. Thank you so much, Murat. It was amazing.
Great.
Over to you, Takuya.
Thank you so much, Shilpa and Murat. No? Now Johan is on stage back. Welcome back, Johan. All right. Maybe you missed Murat's presentation, or maybe by chance you watched it somewhere somehow. Maybe
Sadly, I missed it.
okay.
You know, like a blue screen, it crashes yourself, and only the restart helps. Sometimes it happens on a Friday evening.
Happens now. Okay, maybe you already watched his presentation as a presentation information, and he learned, you know, HTML and CSS from scratch.
Wonderful.
And yeah, maybe could you give some feedback to Murat? What could be the next step?
In HTML, well, the first thing is keep going, right? Because it's the first step, and having going for HTML, going for CSS, going for JavaScript, get into a framework, experience, experiment, and explore. So this is my feedback to you. Thank you, Jesse.
That's my plan. Thank you very much for the feedback.
Cool. Murat, I also have one question from my side. You know, you learned a lot of, you know, technique in HTML and CSS, no? And it's quite a lot of things you learned in this semester. And what was the most challenging topic for you?
The most challenging thing was, I can say it took a lot of time to master all the syntax, because sometimes I was I was trying to use the HTML syntax in CSS, so that was a little bit problematic. But if you want to learn coding or web development or software development, what you have to do is making a lot of practice. By practice, you can be an expert. So it can be challenging at the beginning, but after a while, you solve that kind of problems. You get rid of it, yeah.
Wow, cool. Thank you so much, Murat. And I see a lot of applause from the audience. And well done, Murat. And thank you so much for jurors giving feedback and questions. Murat.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, then I'd like to now move on to the next presentation. It's from the JavaScript course, Marwa Abdelaziz. And let's get started the video first.
Hello, my name is Marwa Abdelaziz. I come originally from Egypt. I have a bachelor degree in computer engineering, and I started my family early on. As a mother, I was looking for a part-time job, but at that time in Egypt, it was expected from a fresh graduate to work 24/7. So unfortunately, I couldn't start my career back then. And 4 years ago, we moved to Germany, and last year, it was finally the time to go back, and luckily I joined ReDI with first semester HTML and CSS, and then second semester with JavaScript. And this is what I'm gonna talk about today. Why JavaScript? Simply because this is how Apple website used to look like without JavaScript, just a static page with HTML and CSS. And this is how it looks like now. A big difference, right? JavaScript adds functionality and interactivity to the web page. So let me tell you about what we covered in this course. First, we covered the basics. We learned about data types, variables, operators, how to work with the console, conditions and loops, arrays and objects and functions. And then it was the time to connecting the dots. We learned about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and now with all of them together, we have more power by learning about DOM manipulation, imps and events, JSON, fetching from an API, JavaScript libraries, and local storage. And of course, we didn't only cover the syntax. We also had to code a lot. Let me show you a couple of examples that we did. First, a guessing game where you have to guess the right number and I even ask for a hint. a super cool clicking game where you make points by clicking and a lot of other features. A to-do list where the first thing you have to do is learn JavaScript. And finally, our graduation project is a flashcard app to learn German, where you simply add a card with a word and its translation, and then you can start practicing. And of course, we couldn't do all of this without the support from our teachers in and out of the class, giving us generously from their time. So thank you, and thanks ReDI for the opportunity.
All right, well done, Marwa.
Hello.
Welcome on board. How was your presentation, Marwa?
I was so nervous.
Looks great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then let's get started. The jury's round. I'd like to ask maybe first Frank about your feedback. And if you have also any questions, feel free to ask Marwa.
Good evening, Marwa. It was a really nice and very entertaining presentation. I really liked it. The way you explained what is Java or what is JavaScript, it was really great. And I like this example with the old Apple web page picture and the new one, and yet to explain where I can use Java for and what I can use Java for. And this was really great. And even the short introduction of your personal projects during the semester was quite interesting. The clicking app or the clicking project I really like. And maybe just one question, Marwa, where did you get the old Apple picture, Apple web page picture from? Did you find it somewhere in the internet?
Yes, I searched how to show the difference between a static page and dynamic page, and this is when I find the Apple, and cool. It explained really great was the point.
So really a great job. You did a really great job, and hope maybe I can see you soon in one of the other ReDI school courses in the next semester. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Frank, and thank you, Marwa. Then I would like to pass to Johan for feedback, and also if you have any questions, feel free to jump in.
Thank you. Marwa, very great, brilliant presentation. It was fluent, it was marvelous, it was interestingly animated, which I'm a bit envious because I'm more like the PowerPoint presentation guy who exports it to PDF and then presents it. So a very dynamic presentation. Thank you very much. The content-wise, I think this is the step up as JavaScript is the way to go. And the question that I maybe have is security related. So you talked about DOM. What do you know about, or did you learn in the course also something how to protect DOM-based attacks or something like that?
Actually, authentication and security is one of the topics I will learn in this vacation between this semester and the next semester with React. It's very important when you have the web page to learn about security. So it's a topic I will definitely learn about.
Perfect. Then you're on the best way for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Johan. And then I'd like to pass to then Shilpa, and do you give any feedback and also many questions?
Sure. Hi, Marwa. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You look so calm and composed, Marwa, giving the presentation.
I look what? Again?
You were so calm.
Really? I felt like I was nervous a little bit.
No,
it's experience, a good experience. I'm happy I did it.
Great. It was amazing presentation which you gave. You gave up all the minute information which everybody needs to know about JavaScript. So it was really good, and great applause for you. So it was really good. And Marwa, but I have a question here, okay? So you spoke about HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So what do you think JavaScript is when you compare with HTML and CSS? Or how important is JavaScript in these websites, or when you use HTML, all those?
Yes, with HTML and CSS, you only have a static page. And when you add JavaScript, you can add functionality and interactivity with the web page. You can do a lot without refreshing the page, for example. You can add a lot of logic to the web page. You can do this with HTML and CSS. So it's a very important addition to the web development.
Right. So you mean to say that you cannot do any animations or anything with using HTML, CSS?
No, you can do animation, of course, with CSS. Actually, this is also one of the stuff I will learn about in my track. Yes.
Right, like you said, JavaScript is most important.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cool. Shilpa, thank you so much. And Marwa, also from my side, I want to ask some questions. What advice do you give to our future students applying for ReDI School?
I would say it's never too late. Whatever problem you had, you can start, and you only need to learn and keep motivated, and you'll reach your goal at the end, hopefully.
Wow.
And I can say also that ReDI gives a lot of support and help you in whatever you need. So thank you, ReDI, really.
Welcome. And also amazing teachers are here.
Yes, really amazing and really helpful. And they support us even outside the class whenever we have questions, we have problems, they always be there. And they even guided us when they say we need any guidance.
Great to hear. Thank you so much, Marwa.
Thank you. Thank you a lot.
Welcome. And thank you also, Frank, Shilpa, and Johan for giving feedback and questions. All right. Well done, Marwa. No?
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Cool.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Then let's get to the next presenters. So next course is Web Design Fundamentals, and the presenter is Ansura Saha. Let's get started the video.
Hello everybody, my name is Anushwa Shah. I am originally from India. I have been in Germany for last three years. I love to travel and I'm a foodie by nature. I have an inclination towards designing. So even after doing my PhD in consumer research, I joined ReDI School as for the Web Design Fundamental course. During my journey in ReDI School, I have learned how to create user-centric design and to create wireframes, creating user personas, and we tested, conducted interviews, and then that we developed prototypes at the end of the project that we have to present with a revamp of a website. So I will take you through my journey. So my learning process was learning by doing. So first we focused on the design thinking. In that we conducted user research, created user personas, and like to solve user personas problem and offer solution by user testing. And in Figma practice that we did like to create wireframes, style guide, and to make the prototype. How did we and this led us to design the website of Esbotega. So as you can see that this is the old website of Esboteka, and the layout of the website is quite scattered. As you can see, the price list and the products were not in order, and it will be difficult to choose from the products listed in the website. So my project was to develop the website in order to make the make this. So we have to answer these questions like who, what and how. So who Esboteka is. Esboteka is a local retail brand located in Düsseldorf, and we have to find who the target customers are, who are the competitors, and what difficulty might a consumer face while using the website, how is the user interface of the previous website, and the style guide that they have used, and then leading to how we can improve the website, how to make it more user friendly. So after answering all these questions, I tried to develop my own version of Esboteka website, which is like this. What I did is to streamline the products based on the categories like dresses, trousers, tops, and the knitwear. And on the right side, you will see the layout of the landing page, which clearly defines what our website offers, and what is the sale going on, and what are the discount vouchers. So this was my presentation. I would like to thank you, all the listeners, and a special token of thanks to all my ReDI teachers and my fellow classmates who have made my learning easy and fun. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Then Ansura, you are here. Welcome to the stage. How are you?
Thank you. Yes, yes, I'm doing good. How are you, Takira?
Very good here. And congratulations on your presentation.
Thank you very much.
All right, now you get excited, no, for the jury round. Okay, then let's get started with, again, Frank, if you have any feedback to Ansura, and also if you have any questions, feel free to speak up.
Good evening, Ansura. Yeah, I really liked this presentation. It was a very, very good presentation. Your communication skills were great, and what I really liked was the example, your demo project with this web page, because from my experience, it is so often so important to discuss with the customer, to understand the customer needs, to listen to the customer before you try to create a solution, an application, a web page, whatever. You need to understand what the customers really needs. And I think this was your example was very interesting, because you described the process with design thinking to understand the needs of the customer, to understand who are the competitors, and then you translate all these requirements and all these findings in a new web page. And this was very amazing for me to see this process of developing. And so maybe one question from my side: did you get any feedback from this owner of the shop, the Sabotoga, or what I don't recall the name exactly? Did you get any feedback about your new styled web page? How does the customer finds the new web page?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Actually, that I took it as an assignment task for the class. So I got the feedback from the teachers instead of the owner of the Esboteka. But this might be nice to make the segregation, and you can put the layout like that. So that was helpful. That was helped me to make the design process and to make the layout of the Esboteka website.
Okay, cool, great, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Frank. Then I'd like to move to Shilpa. If you have any feedback and also maybe questions, please speak up.
Sure. Hi, Ansuya. How are you?
Hello. Yes, I'm doing good. Thank you
Great.
very much.
It was a good presentation, Ansuya, and your English communication is very good. So you were very consistent in presenting your, slides. And I have a question for you too. What do you want to do, or what do you aspire to become? Using with WUX designer, right? So what do you want to do next? Or how do you want to use this designing skills as?
Yes, actually, since I have a market research background and I want to combine with my user, this design skills together, because in as a UX designer, market research is also a part, like to know your customers or the consumer for whom you are designing. So I would like to combine these two things and want to implement so that I can fulfill both my passion, I would say, both with the designing and also with the market research. That's my goal, and to become. Yeah.
All the best, Ansuya. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Shilpa, for giving feedback. Then I'd like to move to Johan. Do you have any feedback and maybe also a question to Anasuya?
Thank you, Takuya. Warm welcome, Anasuya. From my perspective, I'm fascinated because design thinking is always, I a bit envy the people who can not only design, for me, like an architect, to design an architecture technical thing, but also to go into a tool and have something more visualized, which can then be technically implemented. And this is pretty similar, and I'm really fascinated how the world just expands and what we do daily for our work. And you presented it to the point correctly. Used an awesome tool, which I also use in design thinking workshops with clients, Figma, great tool for that. And great user experience there, and generating great user experience. And what you designed there, basically, it's for me, if I would be shopping there, I think this would catch me. So going for the best practices there was a great thing. And in that regards, I also have the question to you. What is the main bullet point or the main best practice that leads your design thinking and in your design process? What is your main driver?
I would say that the main thinking is to create the user persona, because for whom I'm creating the website. So I have to know my consumers well. So the user persona is very important, and what are their requirements and needs. And then on the basis of that, I can follow the layout or design my layout of the web page that will it serve the purpose of my consumers or not.
Thank you. Very great presentation, very great answer. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Johan. I also have one question to Anasuya. I think in this design thinking or design process, probably you experienced, more artistic side or more very systematic side of design. And what step did you enjoy the most?
I would say I enjoyed designing a lot, because then I have to use my creative side, that how I can make it more interesting, much more appealing to the consumers who might be shopping in the website. So what new I can add, or how to make that more attractive.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing, Anasuya. And well done for your presentation and your great results. All right. And also thank you, Frank, Shilpa, and Johan for your feedback. And as well done. All right. Then let's get started the next presentation, right? Okay. The next course is UX design. And presenter is Adijat Aduke Slimon. All right, let's get started the video.
My name is Adijat Aduke Slimon. I'm a student. I'm studying electronics engineering in Livestream University. I'm a Nigerian. I love trying new things. I love traveling. I have watched all design movies on Netflix. And yeah, I read terms and conditions for fun. During this course, we learned so many things, but most importantly, we learned to understand problems. Because you have to understand problems to be able to find solutions to them. And then research. After understanding the problems, we have to do lots of research. And then we analyze the data gotten from the research. And then we design. And we launch the design. And then we analyze again. My project, this is my project. The name is AfriChow. This is an app, mobile app, that caters to international people in Germany, making use of their location to a distance of 1,000 meters. When I first came to Germany, I missed Nigerian food a lot, and I didn't know where to get them. So I thought of a solution to that, and I felt that this will help reduce the feeling of missing home. Yeah, so this is the mood board for the design. These are actually pictures from my personal gallery, like the food I ate or made. Yeah, they are Nigerian dishes. So from the pictures, I chose 2 primary colors I'll be using for my design. Then after doing user personas and all, I ran a usability test. Usability tests are important because they uncover problems, discover new opportunities, and you understand users. It is important to understand your users because there are different kind of people that will be making use of your products. Yeah, during this course at ReDI, I learned so many things. I learned design thinking, design systems, information architecture, visual communication, and most importantly, research. Thank you, everybody, the teachers, thank you, and fellow students.
All right, well done, Adijat, and nice to meet you on board. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Very good. It was a very charming presentation, I would say, and a great app you designed, AfriChow. You know, we are already after 6 getting hungry, and your design maybe makes us more hungry. All right. Okay, then let's get started our jury round. I'd like to ask maybe this time, Johan, would you give some feedback and maybe some question to Adijat?
Thank you, Takuya. Good evening, Adijat. I hope you're doing fine. And your presentation was fun to watch. It was I was excited for the UX design, and especially in contrast to what was the web design, because you going for an app. I think most of the things we are going more and more mobile, right? And even if I look at basically I use most of the time apps and less web pages. Yet again, it's more hybrid, right? And some apps are using web pages in the background. And this is an interesting process. So my question to you is, how do you integrate also web pages into your application framework, or is it just a pure framework for applications which you use?
It is just for mobile app. It is just application.
Only web application.
Yes.
Yet again, a great idea. And yes, I'm getting hungry.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Johan. And Adjat, well done, no? All right, then I'd like to ask now, Shilpa, do you have any feedback or questions even?
Hi, Anjat. Great presentation again. So you were very calm and you gave out all the details which we need. Even I had that confusion between, UI and UX, but it's all sorted now. And I have a question, Adijat. What is the toughest thing when you think of UX designer? What is the toughest thing which you came across?
The first thing, can you repeat the question? Do you mean while designing?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. The first and most important is to understand the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, then
and the hard thing, the toughest one.
The toughest process.
Yes.
I think the toughest process is also the most interesting, and that's talking to the users, the usability tests.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because while listening to your users, you have to take notes of everything and analyze the results. And you have to make sure that you did not miss any important information because it will help your final result.
Right. Absolutely. Very good, Adijit. Thank you so much.
Great. Great to hear that your user-centered mindset, Adijat. All right. Then now I'd like to pass to Frank. Would you give any feedback and maybe questions?
Yeah, hello, Adijat. I really liked your very charming presentation, and it was mouth-watering, I would say, because as Takuya mentioned, it's after 6, and you presented all these really nice-looking food pictures in your presentation. This was really great. I really like the fact, the fun fact maybe, that you like to read terms and conditions, because these are things which I usually like to get rid of as fast as possible. But okay, very interesting. Yeah, but nevertheless, the idea of your project, of your application, is really great because in normal times I'm traveling a lot, and after a long business day, I like to get some food anywhere in the world, and I could really imagine an app like yours, which supports you to find an African restaurant, African cuisine somewhere in the world, in any city, is really a really good idea. And the question I have is what brings you to this idea to develop this kind of application? What was your idea behind that?
When I came to Germany, I didn't know any African restaurant, and not all African restaurants or African stores are listed on Google.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so sometimes I'll be somewhere and I'll be very hungry and I don't want to eat McDonald's or Domino's. Yeah, that was actually a problem. So I felt if there could be an app that will solve this problem, then it would be a great idea.
Great to hear. A very good presentation, and even a very good project or demo project. I really like this.
Thank you.
Thumbs up.
All right, thank you, Frank. And Adijat, well done for your project and also the presentation result. All right, and I hope you enjoyed, Adijat, and see you soon next semester.
Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. The next one. All right, the next one is from the Introduction to Python course. The presenter is Chinedu Christian Okafor. Let's get started the video.
Hello everyone, my name is Chinedu Christian Okafor. I am a Nigerian and I'm also a student here in Germany. I'm studying currently in Southwest University of Applied Sciences ZOST, and I'm doing my bachelor's program in business with informatics. And I'm also happy to say I'm a student of ReDI, currently taking a course in Introduction to Python. What is Python? Python is it's a computer programming language that you can use to build websites, software, automate your tasks. You can do data analysis. In fact, you can do amazing things with Python. Python is becoming very popular today because of the simple syntax. Python have a large community and a huge archive of libraries. In this basic course, I learned a lot in Python, such as basic data types, loops like the while and the for loops, operations and functions. I also learned how to use the list and dictionaries, the set and tuples, and also an amazing topic like class and inheritance. We're able to understand the parent class and the child class. And above all, we learned an amazing libraries for data analysis like the pandas, NumPy, and matplotlib. With the matplotlib, you can plot an amazing chart. While with the NumPy, you can clean your data, you can analyze your data. Aside the tech aspects, ReDI also prepared us for the job market. I could now build an amazing CV, and also ReDI gave me the opportunity to create a good network and also prepare me for a job interview. And as well, I could understand perfectly the German markets. So with my knowledge from this course, I was able to build a simple project, which I titled the roller coaster. You can check this on my link later. So what is ReDI for me? ReDI gave me the opportunity into the IT industry. I got a good exposure to the German labor markets. Also ReDI helped me to create a professional network. And above all, their amazing mentorship program. All thanks to ReDI, because I have a good mentor who is currently guiding me in my career. I can never forget the amazing teacher in my course. They have been so wonderful, and they all have first-hand industry experience. With this, I would like to say thank you to ReDI for all the provisions, for the facilities, and for these opportunities. I will say thank you, and I'm ready to continue with ReDI all the time. So with this, I would like to say thank you for your attention.
Hey, Christian, well done. How are you?
I'm fine. Good evening, everyone.
All right. Great presentation you made.
Thank you very much.
So you're ready for the jury round?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, great. Then this time I'd like to start with Johan. What would you say for your feedback? And maybe you have some question to Christian.
Thank you, Takuya. Good evening, Chinedu. Awesome presentation. For me, it is you were showing that you're calm, that you're ready, that you're motivated, and that this technology, a piece of technology, a programming language even, supports your case and your way of thinking. I'm glad that you learned a lot of things during the course, because these build the fundamentals, right? And my question is, during learning initially Python, what I also did just about 3 years ago, my self-study, what was your biggest challenge while learning it?
Okay, well, during the time when I was learning in ReDI, one of my biggest challenge, I would say, combining both studies, like in my university, and also with ReDI. But why for the course, one of my biggest topic in the course is when it gets to object-oriented programming. So it was really challenging. But yeah, I'm still in the learning process, and I know I will get better.
Okay. Is there any library that supports your or eased your challenge there? Was there anything that made the trick for you?
Yeah. Python have an amazing library, like because my part is in data analysis, so we have already made libraries like pandas, NumPy, the matplotlib, so you can just import them and use it like you are the owner of it. So yeah.
Yeah, that is very impressive. Thank you very much. Great presentation from you. And back to you, Takuya.
All right, thank you, Johan. I'd like to then move to Frank. Frank, would you give any feedback to Christian and maybe questions?
Yeah, Christian, really good presentation. From my perspective, you brought it exactly to the point to explain what Python is and what are the main constructs, the main building blocks of the Python language. I really like this. And just one question from my side. Did you have any experience with other programming languages before you start the Python course?
Okay, well, before I started the Python course, I just only know the theoretical part of Java, but I didn't really work on it. But I was very good self-learning with the SQL, structural query language. So I've been using it for a very long time, and I enjoy it. Yes, so then I started learning Python.
Very interesting. Cool.
You're welcome.
Cool. Thank you very much for your presentation.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you, Frank. Then I'd like to move to Shilpa. Feedback and maybe questions.
Hi, Chinedu. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm fine, thank you. So, Chinedu, it was a really good presentation. You do know Python very well. I can see that in your presentation. It was, it was really good, amazing work. And I have a question for you. What motivated you to take Python? Why Python only? Why not other languages?
Okay. Actually, Python was not the first. Course I started with ReDI. I started with an HTML and CSS, but I dropped along the way because I could not cope. Actually, I love data, so I love to build a career in data analysis. So I think Python will do all the job for me because it's a very simple, an amazing language, and I know you can never get stuck. So it's an open source. So this is one of my motivations because I know along the line I always see someone to assist me. Yeah.
Very good. And what do you want to do next? Where do you want to see yourself?
Well, I'm building a career already in data analysis, and also I'll be taking the next intermediate program in data analysis with ReDI. So I'm still aspiring, hopefully.
All the best. You will succeed for sure.
Thank you very much.
Over to you, Taksha.
Thank you, Shilpa. Christian, from my side, would you give any comments or message to your students and teachers?
Okay, first to the students. First of all, when I'm just 3 years already in Germany, and when I came to Germany, I am from a pure business background. I had no tech knowledge, and today at least I could do something with. I understand IT. At least I could write some programs. So my advice is that you can do anything if you are ready and if you want to. So that's my advice for the students. And why for the teachers, I want to really say thank you for your amazing job, for taking out from your time to do this for ReDI, for us, and for the community. So I will say just keep it up.
All right, great to hear, Christian. Thank you so much.
You're
and
welcome.
Well done and great presentation.
Thank you very much.
All right, then see you soon. Then the next presentation I'd like to move on is from the course Data Analytics with Python. Again, Python. Then the student presenter is Somtochukwu Obewane and Ayora. Let's get started the video.
Hello viewers, I am here to present to you the Data Analytics with Python course at ReDI. But before I go on, I would like to say some things about myself. My name is Somtochukwu Anyora. I'm from Nigeria and I'm currently studying chemical engineering at the University of Applied Sciences. I love information technology and I have a strong passion for problem solving. One of the nice things about this course is that a project-based learning approach was used. This means that data sets that have been designed to simulate real-life processes was used in the learning process. Some of these data sets include the Immobilien Scout24 dataset, the TIFS dataset, and so many other data sets. With this dataset, the Data Exploratory Journey was launched, which is known as Exploratory Data Analysis, EDA. The EDA that can be used to identify KPIs, that is, Key Performance Indicators. To do this, we worked with Jupyter Notebook, Google Colab. Also, important built-in Python libraries such as NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Seaborn were used to perform tasks such as reading the dataset, cleaning, manipulating and transforming data, and also to create dashboards that can be used to communicate your findings. To communicate your findings, the best way to do this is to visualize your dataset with the aid of plots. Also, it is important to understand the type of dataset you have, as the type of dataset you have will help you determine the kind of plots to use to best explain your story. For example, a continuous dataset would fit the change over time model, and this is best explained with a line plot. Here's an example of a project that was done with the TIPS dataset. The goal here is to predict how much a dining table will tip in the restaurant setting. To do this, it is important to first identify the variables that affect this tipping. As you can see here, with the increase in total bill spent in the restaurant, the amount of tip also increases. You can also see here the tips distribution. This course has been able to develop the key skills that are desired by most employers. Some of these skills include the ability to use the programming tools, the ability to think about data and gain insights from the data, the ability to effectively communicate the data sets and your results in a desirable manner. I would like to thank everyone at ReDI and also the sponsors for the opportunity to participate in this program. Thank you and have a good evening.
All right, Samchuku, welcome on board. How are you?
I'm fine. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Cool, great to see you. You look like you have a nice chair, no?
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
It's a really nice chair. I mean, it's good. It's good, especially if you have to sit a lot in front of your computer. It's a nice thing to have.
Means you are learning hard.
Yeah, you can say that.
All right, very good. Then I'd like to start the jury round. Maybe this time I would like to start maybe from Shilpa, which would give some feedback and maybe even questions.
Sure, Takuya. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good evening. I'm fine, and you?
I'm fine, thank you. So you were very confident in the presentation and the data analytics, right? Data analytics and with Python, right? So according to you, what is data analytics?
Yeah, data analytics. This is basically, conceptualizing data. Basically, you're taking data and then you try to conceptualize this data and, develop insights that can help you predict, that can help you develop hypotheses, that can help predict, with predictive models, and also, generate, for instance, like I mentioned in the presentation, key performance indicators. So these are things that can help businesses and operations, make better decisions regarding their business operations.
Right. Thank you so much, and a great presentation. You were very confident. I loved your confidence.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Over to you, Takuya.
All right, thank you. Then I'd like to say next one, Johan, which would give questions, feedback and maybe questions.
Yeah, most definitely. So a very splendid presentation. So a great, very calm, very thought through, and especially because the topic is really in depth, right? So if I remember my computer science classes about data science, it reminded me a lot of that, and the science actually moved on, right? And I'm eager to see what, especially in Python, you can do with data visualization, with data science, and so on. And that's regarding the data sets. I have a question. So did you also encounter machine learning during the course?
Not really. Actually, the next course in the ReDI lineup is machine learning. So yeah, so this is sort of a building block to machine learning. Yeah, you could put it that way. So yeah, it's first important to understand how to analyze, generate the outcomes, and then you can now use this the knowledge from the data to build the predictive models that can now be used, that can now be transferred into machine learning. So yeah, so machine learning is actually the next course I hope to participate in.
If I may ask a second question, maybe, what is the most interesting predictive model that you learned?
Well, okay, the most interesting predictive model I learned, okay, like it's actually as I presented in the presentation, it was trying to predict how much the restaurant would a dining table in a restaurant would actually tip. So yeah, it's interesting because you get to understand, do some it kind of like helps tax your knowledge in Python. Yeah, it tasks your knowledge, and the nice thing about it is when you're done with project, you can be really confident that you've actually gained some necessary nice skills in Python. So this was really interesting for me.
Very cool. Thank you very much. A very great course. You learned apparently a lot in that. So thank you from my end.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Johan, for very productive feedback. Then I'd like to move on to Frank, which should give you also feedback and maybe questions.
Hello, Samtu Chukwa. Yeah, great presentation. Very interesting presentation for me. You described very clearly what data analytics is, and the demo projects were very interesting for me. One question that I have is, you talked about that you used public available data sets, for your project. How many single data records was included in such a demo data set, for instance, for the restaurants or for the tips? Do you know this?
Yes, actually, these are very, very huge data sets. For instance, for example, the one with the cars data set, it contains about 10,000 entries of cars in Germany. So it's a very, very huge data set. It contains information such as the car, the type of car, the model, the variant, the kilometers per year, and so many information, up to 10,000 entries. So you basically have to go through these data sets. Not necessarily go through all of them, but just look at them and then try to conceptualize and figure out basically figure out the nice things the FSAPs you can take out from these data sets, and that can help make informed decisions. For instance, if you intend to buy a car, and then with the kilometers per year, you can kind of like have an idea of the kind of car to go for. If you understand the kilometers per year and some other information on the variant and the type of car, you can narrow down your choice. Your choice.
Very interesting, and I see you understand the background of data analytics, and you learned a lot about why data analytics is so important today, because the amount of data which is available all over the world is massive. And we need to have procedures available to work with these data to figure out some knowledge out of this. So a really great presentation, and I really like your demo project. Please continue to be curious.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Frank, for your very encouraging feedback. And Samtuku, well done, your presentation, an amazing result you presented.
Thank you very much.
All right, then great presentation. Then I'd like to Thank you. Move on to the next presenter. We have two more. Okay. The next one is from the Infrastructure Basics course, Johan. Then the presenter is Syed Abdul Rahman Hashimi. Let's get started.
Hello, my name is Syed Abdul Rahman Hashimi and I am from Afghanistan. I am doing Master in Communication Systems and Networks in TH Cologne University, which is my second master's. I studied Infrastructure Basics in ReDI School of Tech, NRW, and this course had 3 parts: Infrastructure, Cloud, and Workplace. I have done Master in Computer Science in 2017, and I have done Bachelor in Computer Science in 2010. I am CCNA and CCNP certified, and I have more than 9 years of experience in IT support and networks. Well, in this course, I learned a lot, and it's a bit difficult for me to describe them all here in a few minutes, but I'm just going to mention a few major topics that we covered in this course. The OSI and TCP/IP model and why do we need them, how applications communicate to each other, IP addresses, IPv4 address format, and routers connecting networks. Spanning tree protocol, how switches handle parallel cabling paths, virtual LANs or VLANs, a method to divide switches into multiple virtual networks, binary counting and converting, CIDR, subnetting, and supernetting, the most important topics in networking. IPv4 header, what is inside an IPv4 header, for example, header length, TOS or types of service, TTL, time to live, and source and destination IP addresses, and of course DHCP and DNS. We also learn about cloud technologies, the concept of cloud, and the cloud leading cloud technology providers, storage on cloud, compute and network in cloud, Docker and Kubernetes or K8s. 8 means 8 letters between K and S. Actually, Kubernetes helps us save money and resources by filling nodes with pods, so we can have multiple containers in a node. So overall, this course was really interesting and important for me, and I really enjoyed it. And I really recommend this course for those who are beginner and want to start their career in IT, infrastructure, and cloud, or to those who are professional and want to learn new things and boost their knowledge. At the end, a special thanks for ReDI School of Tech for providing such amazing course to us and our beloved teachers. So they were very professional, well educated, and well prepared for giving their valuable time to us despite they are working for Accenture, which is one of the most top company in the world. And a special thanks to our fellow classmates who are with me during this course, and thank you for watching.
All right, Syed. Good evening. How are you?
Hello, good evening. I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good. Well done for your presentation.
Thank you.
I can see that Johan is smiling. All right, then let's get started the jury's round. And I'd like to directly start with Johan. Would you like to give some feedback and questions?
Yeah, thank you, Takuya. And welcome back, Saeed. Nice to see you again. Hope you're doing fine this evening.
Thank you.
Yeah, the presentation was great. I know it were many topics that we touched in the course, you know, eight courses for network, 8 courses for cloud and data center technologies, and 8 courses for or sessions for workplace. So a lot of information to take in. I believe that it's much. Most of the topics I already myself learned and taught at Accenture and some other students. I'm glad that it was well received by you and your fellow students. And yeah, your presentation was for sure definitely getting to the point what the course was about. Maybe a bit too much too good to say about Accenture. It was very nice to hear that. Yet again, maybe you're a bit too enthusiastic on that. Yeah. On the other hand, we still, as teachers and trainers, and yeah, we were there to support you, and we are really glad and grateful for the feedback that you provided, and included also in this short presentation. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, maybe if I may ask a question, so after hearing that ton of information and getting to know all this info in the course, what would be your preferred technology or cloud vendor to go for at the moment? What interested you most to go for next?
Really good question. And of course, Microsoft, as I love Microsoft from the beginning.
Good partner.
Yeah. As actually, it's a bit difficult to describe it in a few words here. And not only me, it's a multinational company from the scratch, building and developing operating systems. So we all know the value and the importance of Microsoft. So for sure, Microsoft, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And again, there we as an agnostic company, we not only work with Microsoft. At least the cloud part was also showing off AWS as a contrast. To be clear, Frank.
Yeah.
So really a great tool set. So there is a lot of technology out there, and I'm really glad that you want to go for Microsoft now and learn more there, especially in Azure, I assume.
Yeah, sure.
Very well said. Thank you. And back to you, Takuya.
All right, thank you, Johan. It was a great feedback round, I would say. Then maybe I'd like to now pass to Frank.
Yes, good evening. Good evening. How are you doing today?
Good evening. Fine. I'm fine. How are you?
So good, thank you. I really like the statement of you that you prefer the Microsoft Cloud solution. But okay, nevertheless, all our other competitors have also very good solutions. No problem with that. But okay. So back to your presentation. I really liked your presentation. It was very clear, and I know infrastructure, computing infrastructure, IT infrastructure is a very, very complex topic. And I noticed that you have some very good experience from your history in computer technology. My question is, what was, for you personally, what was the most interesting part of the infrastructure course you attend during the last semester? What was the most interesting or the most exciting topic you heard during that course?
Actually, I liked all the topics and they were all interesting for me. But of course, TCP/IP model that I love, how communication is started and how data packet or packages being formed and sent from layer to layer and sending in from source to destination. So yeah, that was my interesting and famous topic. And of course, CIDR, supernetting and subnetting, and of course IPv4 header and how an IPv4 header is formed. So yeah, actually I liked all of them, and I laughed at this course.
That's good to hear, and thank you very much for this very interesting presentation. And maybe we will see us in the cloud computing course next semester if you would like to continue.
Sure. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, thank you. Back to you, Takuya.
All right, thank you, Frank. That's a good also the course pitch. All right, then Shilpa, what did you say as a feedback and maybe some questions to Syed?
Hi, Syed. How are you?
Hi, Shilpa. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So your presentation was exceptionally good. It was very interesting and very informative, rather. In fact, I could learn so many things from your presentation, honestly. Although I have one question for you, Syed. Um, can we really change IPv4 address in IP sector? When you go to IP, can we really change IPv4 address?
Sorry, I didn't hear you clearly.
No, I just wanted to know, can we change IPv4 address?
How, for example, I didn't got your question really.
The
IP version 4 address.
Right.
Can you change
IP
that?
version 4. Can we change it?
Yeah, of course we can change. Actually, we have two types of addresses, IPv4 and IPv6. So for sure, we can implement both of them, IPv6 if you want. If you want to go for IPv4, for sure, so we can change it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That's all. Over to you, Takuya.
All right, thank you, Shilpa. Maybe Syed, I will also ask you some infrastructure setting for ReDI School next time. All right, then thank you so much, Syed. No, great presentation and your answers to the questions. Well done, and keep in touch. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Right. Great. Then we move on to the next presentation, which is the last presentation today from the cloud computing course, Frank. The presenter is Bed Chika Amadi. All right, then let's get started the video.
Hello, everyone. I will be talking about cloud computing. But before that, let me say a little bit about myself. My name is Bede. I'm a Nigerian. I have a background in engineering, before coming to Germany, that is. And currently, I'm a student of automation and IT at the Technical University of Technology here in Köln. I'm also a student at ReDI. I have interest in machine learning, AI, and cloud. I also have other interests like music, hanging out with friends, video games, and a bit of sports. Now to the course proper. During the course of this course, we did have some learning outcomes. First of all, we learned about cloud concepts, where we talked about the various cloud models and architectures that exist. We also did talk about some core Azure services, like compute, networking, and storage. We also talked about security and monitoring basics. We further delved into extra layers of security in the cloud, like authorization and authentication, and also security Azure Key Vault. Also, we did have a virtual tour of a data center, which was really, really amazing. I mean, we had to see the day-to-day operations of what happens in a data center. It was huge for us. And lastly, we wrapped up this course with, or we are going to wrap up this course by writing the AZ900 Azure Certification exam. Aside from that, we also did have a lot of hands-on the course. We worked on resource groups and resources. We also worked on Azure Static Web Apps. And we also did have some developmental workflow using continuous integration and continuous deployment. Now to the projects proper. During the course of the course, we did work on 2 projects. One was to deploy a static web app to Azure using GitHub as the source control and continuous delivery. And the second one was to integrate an autocomplete search feature in a website using Azure Cognitive Search Service. We really learned quite a lot in these 2 projects. And finally, we would like to say thank you to ReDI and their sponsors and volunteers. And up there, you can see the image of the class. Unfortunately, I wasn't there when it was taken. And also a huge, huge, huge thank you to our instructors, Frank, Jan Hendrik, and Tim. I mean, they did a really huge job for us. And for everyone in the course, I think I'm speaking for everyone. And finally, to ReDI and to viewers viewing us from home, we say go ReDI.
All right, thank you so much. Bed, are you there?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Good evening. Good
Cool,
evening, everyone.
Cool. Great presentation you've done. And I also saw Frank was smiling a lot. I would say let's get started with Frank, the feedback and maybe questions.
Yeah, Billy, good afternoon and good to see you again this evening here. Yeah, your presentation, I like your presentation. The presentation skills was great. Yeah, nothing to discuss. I know we had a lot of very interesting discussions during the semester in our courses. I have one question for you. If you think about cloud computing, what do you think is one of the biggest advantages of cloud computing compared to the classical computing in on-premise data centers?
The biggest one for me, of course, there are several advantages of cloud computing, but I think availability, the fact that you can get it everywhere, the fact that you can easily scale up when you're on cloud, the fact that it's also, I think the huge one would be it's a pay-as-you-go service. You pay as you use the service. You don't have to have your hardware maintenance and all as on-premise demands. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much for this presentation. Thank you very much for the semester. You were really great students, all the class, yeah. And maybe we will see you again in another class, or maybe we will meet us in Cologne sometimes.
Hopefully.
Thank you very much, Billy.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Frank. Then I'd like to pass to Johan. What was your thought and maybe one question?
Thank you, Takuya. Yeah, Bede, very great presentation. So very calm, very chilled. I like the introduction also, that you make it more leisure as you come, especially from an engineering background. We notice this, and gaming is also a good part to have, because you need to play around, especially with cloud, to get the things right. The same goes for programming and designing, for sure. In the cloud, it comes all together, from my experience. And yeah, I liked also the topic because we also in the course had cloud computing as one part of it. So Frank did it more in depth, for sure, with his team. A bit envious here. And my question is regarding the CI/CD pipelines. So what is the main use case that you learn for CI/CD pipelines within the cloud?
For us, it was about after we deployed a web page, we needed to make, for example, you have an application running in the cloud and you need to make changes. So you, by a simple change of your code base and uploading to GitHub, the resources on Azure automatically deploys it, and yeah, you have your app deployed. So that was a use case for us.
Very well. Thank you, Bede. Great presentation, and handing over back to Takuya.
All right, thank you, Johan and Bede. Well done. All right, then I want to pass it to Shilpa. What's your thought and maybe one question?
Sure, Takuya. Hi, Beat. How are you?
I'm very fine.
Great. So it was amazing presentation, Beat. Each and every point were very much deeply, presented, and you taught us. To be honest, I don't know much about cloud computing. Okay, so I have a question. So, from your perspective, what is cloud computing, or what are what are its advantages or disadvantages?
Okay. Cloud computing is essentially delivering cloud services over the internet for faster innovation or flexibility of resources, and services basically like compute, networking, and storage, and also a bit of analytics. So if you think about your primary computer system you have at home, all it can do, and think about doing all of what it can do through the cloud, that essentially is what cloud computing is all about. And the huge thing about the cloud, like I've mentioned before, it offers a whole lot of possibilities, one of which is that it's available anywhere in the world, you can get it. It's also very flexible. You can actually tweak some things depending on what model you're using. And it's highly scalable. And most importantly, unlike the laptop at home or the on-prem data center you actually have a pay-as-you-go. In cloud computing terms, we call it, I think, the OPEX, the cost-based model is actually OPEX. So you don't have to bother yourself about the hardware costs or hardware maintenance. It's just pay-as-you-go, basically. Those are the huge advantages of using the cloud.
Okay, great, Wade. Very well done. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Over to you, Takuya.
All right. I think, Shilpa, you learned what cloud means. All right. Then from my side, very well done and a great presentation. And thank you so much for your prominence in the classroom. No? Thank you. Well done.
Thank you.
All right. Now we are all done with our student presentation. It was amazing, very inspiring. And from my side, thank you so much, Frank, Shilpa, and Johan again for joining today and giving great feedback, encouraging, and also sharp questions to our students. All right, thank you. Then I'd like to say next time.
Okay, have a nice evening all together and a nice Christmas time.
All right, thank you.
Also from my end, thank you very much. Was
Thank
very
you so
enjoyable.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Then I'd like to now invite my colleagues, Haley, Anita, and Anas on stage. Are you there? Hello. And Shilpa, you can also turn off your camera. All right. Thank you so much. You know, we are running this ReDI school. Now it's getting big, but behind the scene, we are only 4 working hard to run everything good. And this is a great moment to have our colleagues here on stage. And maybe we have a lot of messages to our community members. And I'd like to pass to you first, Anas. Do you have any comments to our community?
Thanks, Takuya. Actually, I would like to thank you all for your time and attention. And in particular, I would like to thank all the ReDI students for their great attendance and motivation in the classes. And I wish them a successful career path and they can join us in the upcoming semester. So thank you so much, Takuya.
Welcome, Anas, and great to hear from you then. Then I'd like to then pass to Haley. Welcome, Haley, then.
Thanks, Takuya. So I'd like to say it's great to see everybody here, and I'd like to say a big congrats to all of the students and teachers that made it all possible for us to be here today. So thank you, Takuya.
Great. Then the last one is from Anita. Thank you for looking after all IT.
Yeah, thank you, Takuya. I would like to congratulate all the students for completing their course at ReDI and for the teachers for their wonderful support and all the supporters and partners for making our session run successfully. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice evening.
All right, then thank you so much. And now it's getting to the end of the event. And with our amazing teamwork here with Anas, Haley, and Anita. But don't forget one more colleague, Lina, now sitting at home. She's expecting her amazing baby soon. And she will be coming back to look after our students also. And with our amazing team, we are building up the strong and very engaging and happy community in this ReDI school, Nordrhein-Westfalen. And I'm also really looking forward to seeing you all in the upcoming semester. And for people watching, thank you for joining today. And I hope you get inspired, got some new ideas, or maybe you want to start studying with us, or maybe you want to teach with us. Let's get in touch, and also take care, and please stay safe. And I wish you the best, wonderful holiday time with your family, friends, beloved one, and for yourself. And I would say thank you. See you next time. Bye.